Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today we're going to go into Inferno 1 of the Trishula Beatdown battle, because this stage is required to clear the final page of the Chancellor Union Bingo. Probably one of the most bullshit things in the world, but you can see Clear Mirror Calamity Inferno 1. Inferno 1 is where you either have the meta or you have a very, very good substitute team, and there is really no in-betweens, unfortunately. So this is going to be very polarizing. Newer players, I mean, if you have Veldora and Emils, great. It'll probably help you out, but you need gear and you need other support characters along the way. By the time this video goes up, there will be another banner character out, which will make this even easier, but we're going to pretend that, for the sake of this video, that character doesn't exist in your box. So, to start, I mean, the difference between this stage and EX2 is EX2 has like 450,000 HP, and here we have 56 million, so it's a bit hefty of a jump. But they do generally the same amount of things. So invincibility, yeah, sure, on the turn 5. Seal healing effects, converts 3 orbs now instead of 2 orbs to whatever. And then Kyokyo is now nerfing Pierce Synergy and Aegis by 120% instead of 80%. So even more nerfing to those kinds of skills. And Hinata's about the same. Maybe she just hurts a little bit more. But 56.8 million is obviously a very, very drastic jump in difficulty. So good luck for everyone, but let's go ahead and start this video up. Alright, to get started, it's actually not going to be my units, it's going to be D2's. Big Sweaty North America server Whale has 2 different teams he's used to clear up to Dire 2, so all of the stages. But they are orange focused, either with Protector Elmesia, or we've got a 3-turn clear with Protector Shuna and various other characters. I'm not going to try and recreate these, I'm just going to link this video down in the description, so if you want to try these 2 teams out and you have the means necessary, please go give D2 some love. But these are his teams, I'm not going to poach him, he's the one that came up with them. If you can run them, great, and if you can't, well, then you can come back to my video or my teams and see if that'll work too. But shout out to D2 for coming up with some cracked-ass orange teams. Alright, so starting off, we have the meta, quote-unquote, with Veldora, Emils, and Trishula. Now, if you're watching this video and there are other characters out, whether Banner 2 or Banner 3, then obviously you will replace either Violet, Blanc, or the hero with those characters, and you will have a much easier time. But for now, we're just using the new characters that are out currently as of recording, and we're going to go fairly low budget too. I mean, Blanc, Hero, and Violet are all very, very old, so it doesn't require like super duper new characters apart from the current meta. But we are banking on the triple damage from Veldora and the combo gimmicks from Emils and Trishula to give us enough blue orbs to get the 6 dragon souls. And then we've got crit and crit resistance down with the hero. We've got crit damage and alt resistance down for from Violet. And then we have alt swapping with Blanc and weakness strike, which will help Trishula and Emils immensely when they alt. So let's use the combo buff because we don't have anyone to convert turn 1, but we can make it act like we have 4 or 6 blues. And then next turn Emils will passively convert 2, and then we can convert the rest with Veldora being activated, and then we start getting the dragon orbs. So this team, I mean, this is probably one of the quickest blue stacking teams in the game, because we just generally use 1 skill and then Veldora, and then as turns get progressively further and further, we send progressively less and less orbs, which just cuts down on time, which is cool. It does mean that sometimes there are a lot of dead skill points to use, because we're only having to use 1 or 2 skills maximum, but I'd rather do this than have to do like Divine General or Danmachi, where I just click like 20 skills in a turn. So we're on turn 2. They don't really do a lot of damage to us. Most of our damage that we take comes from poison on turn 3 and then turn 6 or something. So honestly, you don't need that much defense. You just need to make sure that you either swap characters out, therefore not taking as much poison damage on multiple turns, or you just face tank it and pray you get to turn 7 when you get invincibility. So, I mean, here's poison. If you try to use healing skills, the poison will become even more powerful, and that's just not great. So, I don't recommend doing that. We are poisoned, we are binded in here, but all the converting is getting us through it. So let's use Veldora. We're going to get 3 blue orbs now, and then we need to use Trishula's combo edition now as well. The transformation with Emils doesn't happen until turn 6, because we want him transformed turn 6, turn 7, and turn 8 for the nuke turn. So you can't use it early unless you plan on sending Emils away. But remember that every turn that he's transformed, you also have to use his alt damage stack, which affects both him and everybody else. The transform state gives you 200% EX alt damage, but only for Emils. So Trishula is not going to get that. I mean, he's not an EX character anyways, but Violet and Blanc and the hero in the back, like, they wouldn't get that because it's a personal buff. So alt swap here with Blanc because I don't really want to send a alt orb because that doesn't give us nearly as much skill points. We do need to make sure that we can manage the protection gauge with this team. So turn 5, we are going to have a double stack. But remember that turn 6, we're only sending 1 blue orb, which is going to act like 5, but it's not 6. So we're not getting maximum protection gauge. So ideally, you do not send both stacks of Veldora here. You just send 1. That way you guarantee that you have 1 for turn 7. That way you can get the full 6-hand send of Dragon Orbs. So here, we should be transforming with Emils and combo buffing. So boom, boom. Veldora will change the Emils orb to a Dragon Soul. Alright, cool. And then we should be transforming, but we don't. So the damage output that we see at the end of this video is missing an extra 100% alt damage. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to run this team, you should be transformed on turn 6. You should have used a stack of his alt damage. Don't do what I did. But there we go. By saving that stack of Veldora, we have access to him on turn 7, which will make us invincible. So even though Emils and Trishula are looking pretty low on HP, we can't take any more damage now. So we've transformed, we've stacked, and we don't really need to use any combo buffs either because we're not sending anything that's going to do it. We're just going to send 6 Dragon Souls. We're going to get the triple damage, 900, we'll max out skill points, we will get the EX alts for everybody, and the 50% resistance down and the invincibility, so that on turn 8, we've got many, many nukes to send. So boom, 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 max points. We don't need to use Veldora here. Honestly, it would take away from our hand, so I don't know if that's really what you want to do. But we'll take out Trishula. If that was the best idea, I don't know. His AoE would still help our damage, but we'll bring Blanc in for the weakness strike, Violet for the alt resistance and crit damage, and then we'll just do pretty much everything here. We'll do the second stack of Emils as alt damage, the crit and crit resistance down with the hero. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No, just 4. Because we have the combo edition skill. So Emils does 55 million, which is almost kill, and then the hero finishes up with 3.5 million. But because we were missing that extra stack of Emils, he should have just outright killed. So that's the quote-unquote full meta as it is when I'm recording this on the 5th of November. Veldora, Emils, Trishula, and then other damage support characters. Obviously, these 3 are fairly old, so you could use newer units that have much better skills and abilities, but trying to make it as friendly as possible, right? Let's move on. Alright, the next team is the what if I don't have Veldora team, but I happen to pull Emils. Okay, well, I mean, we can work with that. So we've got now Protector Renard from the Commander meta, who's stacking Weakness Strike and Alt Resistance down. 2 very good things for our water characters. We've got Old Warrior's Mind Guy. We've got Blanc again. We've got Violet for the control stacks. Gonna be kind of huge. And then we're going to nuke with both Emils and the free-to-play Fount of Wisdom Rimuru that you can get from the EX Awakening quest. So everyone should have access to that Rimuru, guaranteed, because it's a very early stage and it's not difficult. So we're going to double nuke with 2 water characters, and it'll work for the most part. It's just that we need the shit ton of weakness strike stacks with Violet to make us do 54 million damage, because we're not getting a command or a protection character extra damage buff. So we're gonna go a bit faster. Turn 1, we could use Guy's Convert, or if your Rimuru is skill fused, which I'm assuming he is because you're taking on Inferno, then you could use him and he can convert. Or you could use the Emils feature or combo edition. You have 3 different options you could do here. Emils, though, will work great because he will convert 2 orbs in the future. So then we only have to use, in this turn, 1 convert either from Rimuru or Guy. So here, I mean, we can just use Rimurus because it's an orange anyways. We'll do a stack of Renard. We don't quite get a double stack, though, because the combo edition doesn't have a gauge increase on it. So, oh well, we'll get a double stack here. But we just have to make sure that we can get alts for Rimuru and Emils. Emils will be a lot easier because he gets rainbow orbs when he's transformed. So his alt gauge is practically guaranteed. It's just that, do you get any orbs for Fount of Wisdom Rimuru? Because he does not get any of that. But as long as we can convert every turn, now from turn 3 onwards, pretty much gonna use a lot of weakness strike stacks every single turn. And so right here, we're getting 90% weakness strike on Rimuru and Emils. And then when we have double stacks, it's 180% every turn that we have double stacks on, which is a crazy amount of additional damage. And that's how we're able to overcome 54 million HP with our protector who's not giving us like the damage buff. Because Veldora, he's got that triple damage, he's got the weakness resistance, he's got just the 100% extra damage for Dragon Haki and Exalted Champions versus fire characters. Yeah, we don't have that here. So we're going to have to make do with what we got. The control stacks will also give us alt resistance down, which technically, yeah, does help. If you had like Warrior's Mind Violet, or the older Warrior's Mind Violet, would that still do the same amount of damage? No. We're gonna have like 1,000% of weakness strike with this Violet, so that's the main key difference. And if that's not possible for you, you might have to find a different team or something. I don't know. But there's the 180% control. I don't actually check how much we have at the end of the fight, but just know that it's a butt ton. So we'll convert with Guy, boom, we'll bring Blanc in, we'll alt swap away. We are getting closer to getting an EX alt with both characters, but Emils, it's only turn 5. We want to transform on turn 6 for maximum power, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Cool. And as long as we can get some orbs for Fount of Wisdom Rimuru, we'll be okay. But now we'll want to transform with Emils so we can start stacking. Might have to, depending on how your orb RNG is, you might have to sacrifice a control stack or something just to ensure you have enough points to do actual converts and the transformation and the stack. But here we get fairly lucky. So boom, and then we have 175, so we can use Violet again to get this. Emils only has 1 orb, but it's not a big deal. He's 1 orb away from having an EX alt. It's just Fount of Wisdom Rimuru that needs it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's almost there. Turn 7, we need like 2 orbs for Rimuru, which one of them is guaranteed because of his alt. And because Isis now changes our orb hand, that actually worked into our favor, because now we have 3 orbs for him. But here, we can't swap characters anymore. So we're just going to stack again, and then we're going to convert, and we're going to combo buff and control stack. That way we don't have to convert the 2 alts. We can just send the 4 blue orbs, and 2 orbs and 2 rainbows, and that will act like we're sending 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. Get a lot of points, not max, but enough, and then 1 more stack of Renard, and now we're looking good. And pretty much every turn since turn 3, we've had control stacks being put on Rimuru and Emils. So we're looking good. So let's do the final stack of Emils alt damage, okay? We'll bring Guy in, who's going to do another 80% alt damage plus guaranteed crits. which is just a little bit extra damage. And then we'll bring Blanc in for the weakness strike, and then we can use the physical buff with Fount of Wisdom Rimuru. One more stack of Renard, and then we can go ahead and nuke at full power now with the mills. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fount of Wisdom Rimuru does 24 million damage. Pretty good. And then Emils, with his extra combo buff, does 47 million. So we definitely still needed both nukes, even with so much weakness strike. So that's why I'm saying, like, even with like 1,000% weakness strike or something, we still definitely needed a fully buffed up Emils, and we needed a secondary AoE ult with Fount of Wisdom Rimuru to get this done. So, I mean, this will probably clear Inferno too. I don't know about Dire, but it'll work. It just, you know, this is the team you can use if you do not have Veldora, but you have a lot of other good options to help supplement your damage. Alright, the last team I have for you is the I don't have a Mills team, but I have Veldora, and we have Trishula, obviously. So, this team also, I mean, not the friendliest thing in the world. Water AoE nukers are not in a good spot right now if you don't have a Mills. You do have access to the free Fount of Wisdom Rimuru, which is cool, but you're gonna need a couple extra things. So we've got the Protector of Peace Rimuru, who is also physical and water and AoE, and has guaranteed crits for everyone, but a personal 150% ult damage buff for himself. Sadly, I tried it with just those two, and it's still not enough. So we needed to bring a third AoE character, and we brought Blanc. So everyone here is very much necessary for this team. Trishula, obviously, since we're using Veldora, we want to play into the Combo Edition gimmick and the Dragon Souls, but this requires not only really good protection character usage, but also protection character traits. So this is a team that will require dupes in characters to ensure that you can get maximum protection gauge, because there are turns where you're only sending 3 blue orbs, or, you know, I guess that's the maximum, because we do not have 2 different characters with Combo Edition. We're getting a little bit poor on blue orbs. Doesn't mean the team is even faster though. So Trishula will convert one of his orbs, and then Veldora will convert the other 2, and we'll start getting dragon orbs. We don't have to worry about ults on this team because we're going to get them guaranteed when we send all 6, and we are definitely going to send all 6 dragon orbs. But it's just a struggle getting up to that point. We don't have a lot of points to use in terms of buffs, so like we didn't bring Violet on this team because we already used her once, and honestly we don't have enough points for it. So everything that we're going to be using here is pretty much going to be end of the fight, except if you get hands like this, where Veldora is going to like convert both of your orbs, and you can afford to use a single orb change into green with the Protector of Peace Rimuru, because every time you do that, he gets 10% weakness strike. And so if you get lucky hands that Veldora will just convert away regardless, you could use the convert with Rimuru once a turn, maybe not when you get to higher stages, but it will definitely add to your damage output, and you want all the damage that you can get out of this team. So the bind, not a big deal right here. We're just gonna alt swap away. Trishula will swap 2 water alts, so we have 2 water characters. It works out pretty well. We'll again do the convert with Protector of Peace Rimuru to get weakness strike, and then we will use Veldora to get this. But now we're only sending 5 blues or something, so let's see what happens on this turn. Alright, cool. Still don't take a lot of damage, except for the poison. The poison is the biggest part. So now we've got 2 water alts. Cool, that's fine. I'm not really worried about him. We're going to send Fount of Wisdom Rimuru away. We don't really need him up front. It's better to have Protector of Peace Rimuru up in case we want to convert with his orb change and get a little bit extra. But let's bring Blanc in, because it's turn 6 next turn. So we want the protection traits from Blanc and Fern more than anything else, because we're only sending 4 blue orbs here. So we gotta make do with what we have available, and getting the extra 12 points in protection gauge is gonna be huge for making sure that we can use Veldora every single turn. So only gave us a little bit, but it's still important. Maybe we could have swapped Trishula out instead, I don't know, and left one of the other characters in for their traits, because I think Protector of Peace has Shinsha underneath her. Him doesn't really matter though. So we're sending 3 blue orbs here. That's not great. That's why we need that extra protection gauge from Blanc and Fern. But now it's turn 7, and we can get all 6 dragon orbs. Doesn't matter, because we've got the other characters in the back. The bind doesn't matter. We're going to get EX alts. I guess the only downside is that we can't do a single orb convert with Protector of Peace to get more weakness strike, but it is what it is. Now, invincibility, maximum skill points. We have EX alts for everyone. We need all 3 AoE alts. We need Blanc, we need Protector of Peace, and we need Fount of Wisdom. And not Trishula, because he's not going to get the EX ult damage buff that Fern is giving. So it has to be Blanc. So we'll bring these characters in. We've used both of their skills, so we don't need to worry about Fern anymore. We take Trishula out, and then we have points to do the physical buff, and then the crit and ult damage. And then we can also orb change with Rimuru as well. And then we'll go ahead and send the nuke. So Blanc does 21 million damage. Really good damage right there. And then Fount of Wisdom Rimuru does 17 mil. I know that was a bit fast. So 21 mil for Blanc, 17 million for Rimuru. And the reason why Blanc did more is because they have the dark resistance down debuff as well. So that's why. And then Protector of Peace comes in, and he does 27 million damage. So, yeah, we needed just about all 3 of those ults to get the guaranteed kill. But that is another option in case you only have Veldora, you didn't pull a Emils, and you also have some decent support characters to go alongside them. Is Blanc truly necessary? No, if you have another confident AoE character that is not built for like one of the 3 buffs that are nerfed, then you could try and use them instead. But you're gonna need the 2 water AoEs, definitely. Especially Protector Peace Rimuru, because he was doing the bulk of the damage there. So, those are the teams I have for you today, plus the 2 teams that D2 used in his video. If those interest you, please go check them out. Again, video link down in the description. And if you found anything else that works for Inferno 1, for the love of God, please put it in the comments. That way other people can see that and they could try that out instead. But that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.